Hi, Sarah Bannis here, Learn to Craft. I have something absolutely amazing for you today. We are going to make a birthday pop-up card that is top-notch. Let's get started. Most of you who know my work know that I'm super picky about which designers I will work on their designs. And that is because there is a difference in the quality of the work in many ways that you don't recognize until you start making the files. And more experienced designers that just with better quality designs, their end product turns out much better than what you'll get with designers with maybe less experience or just not the same quality of work. So this designer is a favorite of mine. What I'm doing right now is I'm just separating these out into piles of which parts are together. I'm actually just going to separate them by color for now. So this designer in particular, not only are the files top-notch here, I'll give you a perfect example of something that shows why it's really high quality design. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but the perforations to fold this, there's perforations from here out and from here out, and there's nothing right here. The reason that this designer would have done this is that when you fold this, you're going to end up with a little more resistance right here. So what ends up happening is that the card won't break down the same over time. So little things like that on designers that know what they're doing, you'll find that type of stuff in their files. So I'm just trying to make a little bit of room here. Lots of stuff going on. So let me just say, if this video is interesting to you, like the video, but also subscribe to my channel. That helps me out a lot. When you're subscribed to the channel, you'll get a notification when the new videos come out, probably, once a week or so. And there's a bunch coming up that you're not going to want to miss. We're doing an entire series on mechanical, like this gift card holder. So this is a pop-up card, but it's got a spot for a gift card also. Super neat. But also just other types of mechanical gift card holders. There's a whole series coming out on that you're not going to want to miss. So make sure you like the video and subscribe, but also I'm going to link in the video description. We have a bunch of Facebook groups. I'm going to link Cricut and Silhouette for beginners. It's not just beginners. It's all skill levels. You'll fit right in and you'll absolutely love it there. So join us there, and I'll link that in the video description. It's probably about almost 200,000 members at this point. Okay. All right. I think we have everything all separated out. So what you're going to need a few things. You want to cut all your cardstock. I have already done that. You're going to need glue. So the glue that I use two different types of glue on these type of things. Sometimes I'll use this, which is just, ignore that sound. That's my printer. I don't know why. It always turns on in the middle of my videos. So I use this, which is just any type of just, stick glue. You can get it anywhere. And I use this. This is a quick setting tacky glue. So this, what I have found, you can try to cut the tip off, super close to the top to get yourself a nice narrow opening. I have found that these work really well for it. It comes out, nice and smoothly through the tip, and you get precision. So I'll link this in the video description, and this I get on Amazon. I'm sure you can find it at craft stores too, but I like convenience. So, okay. First what we're going to do is we're going to put these gold pieces on. So that's going to go on our gifts and our hats. So here's the gifts and the hats. Okay, put these on. When you're putting, sorry, I got a little piece of hot glue from a past project. When you are putting, gold on, you want to be careful because this can take fingerprints, and then you'll get like little fingerprints on there. So let me just grab a scrap sheet of paper, and then we can kind of work on top of that so that we don't get glue on the mat itself. I'll show you a good way to keep the keep from getting glue and fingerprints on the gold. So take these, move that up so you can see it. And then you want to just kind of test run it first to make sure that you have things going the correct direction. So that is not correct. That is not correct, so that means that one of these is, one or both is flipped upside down. Okay, so that is the correct one for that. And then this should be correct for this. Let's make sure that we have it in the right. Yep, so that's the correct one for that, and that is in the right direction. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on. You don't need a lot. Just make sure that you are getting it all the way up to the edges. And you want to be careful that you're not getting too much close to the edge, because you don't want it to seep out of the edge, especially on this gold, but on any of it. So just be careful that you're not getting a big, you know, glop of it up near the edge. So this, I just kind of like to run it on the middle. You know, something else that's really nice, I'm going to link this particular design in the video description, but check out the rest of this designer's website. They are like one of the very best in the industry. And the neatest part is that their prices are so reasonable. This card was $2.99, which is the design for it, which is very, 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 if you have ever bought designs, which obviously most of you have, that is incredibly inexpensive. Okay, so what I did, I put that on there. Now to make sure that I'm not getting any fingerprints on there, I'm going to flip it upside down, and I'm going to press down with it upside down. And now that's perfect. So now you see any little bit of glue that was on there that didn't get onto the gold. Okay, and then anything that came out a little bit, that'll dry clear. I mean, you don't want a ton coming out, but if a little comes out, it's not a big deal. So wait until you see this when it's done. It is such a cute, cute, cute project. Any kid that opens this would love it. I can't imagine anyone not loving it. Any adult that opened it would love it. I would love it, even having made it. Okay. And the cardstock that I have used here, all of this is Recollections brand. You can get it at Michael's or on Amazon. I will link in the video description, both places. I'll link where to get it in both places. So on Michael's, you will generally find it less expensive. It's usually, not usually, but like right now, it's buy one, get one 50% off. So less expensive. But of course on Amazon, it's more convenient. So really depends on if you're looking for price or convenience. I will link both. Flip that over. Now this part, doing the hats, the hat is going to be a little bit tricky. We have to, okay, so I did take a reference picture because these aren't exactly, let me just look at my reference picture that I took. Just 1 second. Okay, so this hat, the green goes off to the side this way, and then the peach goes off to the side this way. So this one, I think this is the peach, and that starts at the bottom and goes up to about there. And on these, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I'll try to pick it up and show you. On these, there are little tiny registration marks so that you probably can't see them very well. Yeah, but it's going to be hard to get that into focus. But there are tiny little registration points on there so you can recognize where they go. And so the registration will be right, you'll put that right underneath where the design hits. So right there is the first one. And then the second one will be right, just look here. Oops. Wonder if I have these wrong, because that one is not fitting correctly. So just give me just 1 second. I think I might have these on the wrong ones. I think this might be the other set. So I think this, yeah, no, yes, yes. Okay, there we go. So that's the correct one for that, and then this is the correct one for this. So a little bit lower down, no, a little bit higher, higher, there we go. There we go. Okay, so now these will go on like that. So let me go ahead and put these two on there. Okay, and again, be careful that you're not overdoing it with the glue, getting too close to the edge with too much. But do you see how well that small tip works? And it's not, the nice thing is that it's not hard to, like, it's not difficult to squeeze it and get it out. Oops. That was a little bit. Okay, so I am going to end up with a little bit of extra glue there, but like I said, that'll dry clear, so nothing to worry about. I just laid that down a little bit too close to the edge. Far out. But no big deal. I promise you that nobody you give this to is going to care if there's a little bit of extra glue on it. But you won't even be able to see that when it's done. Okay, so then this will go right there. Okay, and now again, I'm going to flip this upside down, and I'm just going to press that down. Okay. I'm going to try to get a little bit of that. Now this quick setting glue, if you are going to try to scrape any of it off, do it right away. I even should try to scrape that a little bit earlier. Doesn't matter, but it sets really quick. Make sure when you're working that you have a little paper towel next to yourself. It'll save you some trouble. So, okay, so then this will go off this way. So, is this the bottom part? Yep, so that is that right? Just 1 second, let me, okay. Okay, that's why. So that will go that way. And then this will go this way, just like that. Okay. This designer has, it's all, I think all, I haven't seen many that are not, but I think, or any for that matter, but I think they're all 3D designs, but some of them are like full-scale projects, like houses and stuff that you build out of cardstock. Really, really, just really neat projects. And again, really well built so that you know when you're building these that you're not wasting your time. Your end result is just going to be spectacular. You see how easy that is to squeeze? I wasn't sure when I first got them because, you know, you got this small tip on there, if that was going to be not viscous enough to come out of there smoothly, but it definitely does. So, okay, shimmy that up just a little bit. You want to get that on there right. That's okay. That's okay. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and that's a little bit off, but that's okay. So press that down. I'm actually going to put the palms on here now, just so that we have these all done. Just 1 second, let me locate the palms. There's one palm. And here is our other palm. Okay, so make sure that you're putting your palms on right. Again, test and make sure that you have it in the right orientation. So that one's right for that. And then that is right for that. Okay. Take just a little bit of this. And I'm not going to put this too far to the outside edge. It doesn't have to be. And then I'm going to kind of grip it by the edge so that I can put it on starting on the outside so that I have it, oops, almost exact when I'm putting it down. There we go. Okay. And I'll squeeze it down just a little bit. So there's our first hat done. And again, I'm just kind of not putting too much on. You don't want it coming out of the edges. Grabbing it by the edge. Putting that down. And then I just want to kind of squeeze that together. Make sure I get a good bond. Okay, so now these are done. We'll put these off to the side. I'm actually going to make sure that they're not layered on top of each other so that if there is any stray glue, they don't kind of glue to itself. Just 1 second, let me clean up a little bit of this mess here so I have a little bit of room to work with. Okay. Sorry, I want to keep my reference photo up so I'm sure that I have. There's a couple little parts like this will go right here on this cupcake cart. So I wanted to have a reference so that I was sure that I would be able to locate that for you on the video without too much ado. So, okay, so next we will, let's see here. I made an order to try to make it a little bit quicker. Okay, so the next part we will do is we will, let's see, we did the gift cards. Okay, put the palms on hat. Now we will put the, let's see, so now we will put the cupcake together. So this is the brown. I don't want to show that on there. I want you to be able to see it. So that's the brown. And then we need our pink wrapper for it, which is this. And we need our blue top, which is this. And we need the gold, this gold, which is that. This gold paper is also Recollections brand. I got a multi-pack with a bunch of different shades of metallics. It's really pretty. Okay. And then we're going to need the little tiny hat for the cupcake, which is this. And then we need the star on top of the hat, which is this. Okay, and then we need our 2 pieces of the candle, a little bit of gold, and then that'll make like the flame, and then on top of that will go the peachy color so that just the flame shows through. Really cute. Let's see what else is on here. So the cupcake has the pink wrapper, the gold, the blue top, the hat on the cupcake, the star on the hat, gold layer, colored layer. Okay, so this is all of this. So let's go ahead and we'll take that off of there, and we'll do this part first. So go ahead and so I would say get a little more than 1/4 of an inch from the edge. Or a little less, rather, excuse me. Maybe even like that's wrong. It's probably about 1/8 of an inch. And then kind of just the middle. And again, you don't have to use this if you know if you prefer to use this easier to access. You can get this at the craft at the anywhere. You can even get that at the dollar store. That's fine. The only challenge with that is that it doesn't give you quite the same bond, and it can leave like glue around the edges. So even though it dries clear, it can kind of make a bit of a mess. And it's more difficult with the tiny pieces. So this is a better option if you can access this. And you can get this right at the craft store. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not accessible. Just make sure that you can see that. Okay, and then just tamp down on the edges. And when you're tamping down on the edges, that'll spread that glue right out to the very edge. Like you can see what a good bond that is. That's a really good bond on that. There's not extra glue. It's just a nice clean look. So then we'll put this on. And then at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to put those little holes. We're going to put, to make it a little bit fancier, we are going to put some little rhinestones on there. Super cute. And the nice thing also about this glue is that you have the perfect amount of work time with it. So it stays workable for long enough for what you need to do, but then heals almost as quickly as you need it to. Oh, it's a little bit low. You need a little bit higher. Okay, it's almost perfect. There we go. Okay, I'm going to flip this over so that I don't get any. Did I get that good? Yeah, it's good enough. Good enough. I'm a perfectionist in a lot of things, but I found that in crafting, sometimes I have to back off of that and, let good enough be good enough. So I'm going to put together the top of this before I put this on here. I'm going to put the pieces on this. So kind of work from the top down. Let's put the star on first. It's going to be a little bit fiddly. It's not very big, obviously. So kind of. Okay. That is good enough. Okay, so we're putting this on this green. Oh, did I get it just right? I did. That was lucky. So put that down and then kind of tamp that down. Yeah, that was lucky. Okay, so that's almost perfect. And then we will put this onto our card. Put a little bit of glue on there. A little bit of glue down either side. And again, you don't need this. I know a lot of people just do it right out of here. I had a hard time with that. Maybe it's because, I made my hole too big or, whatever have you. But on the more fiddly pieces, I had a hard time with it. So, let me just make sure, because I know I wrote down what I needed to do here. So that should be, actually, let me just look at my reference image real quick and make sure. Okay, yep, so that should be off to this side. So let's just make sure. And hopefully I did that correctly. Yep, I did. Should have made sure beforehand, though, that I had the this in the correct orientation, but I do. Luckily. Oh, got just a little bit of glue on top of that, on top of the gold. But such is life. Okay, so now I'm going to put, oops. I'm going to make sure that's in the correct orientation, and it is. And I'm going to put my glue on here very carefully. And I'm going to kind of shimmy that actually so that I get a good bond on there. Shimmy that just a little bit. This one is pretty fiddly because it's so thin. But that's okay. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it. Okay. So I'm going to hold that by the flame. And then I'm going to pop that right on there. There we go. There we go. That is perfect. Oh, perfect, 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 perfect. Okay. So now, actually, let me just tamp that down a little bit just to make sure. And then, oops. And not drop it. Give me just 1 second. Oh, under the table. Okay. That's okay. I got it. Okay. So now I'm going to take on the bottom side and I'm going to put it actually on the middle part first. And then I'll just grab a little bit of that and put that up on top. So let me just grab it with that and put that on top. Kind of shimmy that a little bit. Make sure I'm getting all of it. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to flip this over carefully. And I'm going to, again, I'm going to try to push from the top. So I'm going to try to line up the top first. And then kind of just drop that on there. And it should fall exactly where it needs to be. Yep, and there we go. So that's perfect. So our cupcake is almost done. That is going to be really, really, really cute. You know, next time I do this one, I'm going to make this top frosting part. I have some glitter cardstock that I got that's smooth glitter, and I'm going to make this glitter. I think glitter frosting would be super cute on that. Let me just tamp that down and make sure that that candle's on there good. Okay, so now I'm going to got a little bit too much there. And if you get too much by the edge, try to clean that up a little bit so that it doesn't squeeze out while it's still completely workable. A little bit up on the star. Okay, and this part's going to be a little challenging to make sure I don't get any on myself. Good thing I have nails. You could also always use a like little grippers. I'll show you. I have a pair that go with the rhinestones. You can always use those, like spring back ones. Okay, so again, the best way to do this, to get it, let me come up by the camera so you can see it. The best way to do this is to line up the top part. So line up your star, line up your candle, and then the rest will all just fall into place. Okay, there we go. So that is all perfect. Got a little bit of glue that came out the bottom, so I'm going to clean that up with my nail right away. Oops. Actually got a decent amount of glue that came out of the bottom, but that's okay. That'll all dry clear, like I said, so not a big deal. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit, just because I still can right now. It's still workable. The other difference in this glue versus, so the Scotch glue versus this glue, is that this dries a little bit more matte. The Scotch glue does have a little bit of a shine to it. So that is an advantage to the stick glue versus the tacky glue. So, but how cute is that? Okay, so now that is done. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we put our balloon with the number on it. So this is your mechanism. So let me just, give me 1 second. Let me look at the finished. Just 1 second. I have a, okay. Oh, so that's right. So we're going to do some folding here. This is our mechanism, okay? So the mechanism, you're going to fold this down. Let me show you the fold lines in case you can't see them. So you see the fold lines on there. I'm going to fold that down. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it the other way. And this is going to form, I think it's called like mountains and valleys. So, and then there's a middle fold. And you're going to fold on that middle fold. Now the middle fold, make sure that you're not folding the hat. See how the hat has that? You're not folding that. You're just folding this main part down like that. Okay, and then these, you're going to bring these in. Okay, so kind of shimmy this so that you're getting that like that. Okay, so bring that down like that, and then fold that so that these are coming in towards the middle. These parts are coming in towards the middle, and then this is coming down like that, and that is your mechanism, okay? So that's what will be your pop-up. I'm going to do that. Okay, and then, so this, give me just 1 second. Let me make sure that I'm doing this correctly. Okay, so we're going to put the cupcake on, and then we're going to put our two hats on. So the cupcake is going to go, oops, we did that backwards. Cupcake is going to go here. So this is actually, I did that backwards, but that's okay. So just push that out the other way, and then this will come in like this. So these, just 1 second. And these will come in. I just have to kind of reorient this. So these will come in like that and like that. And then these will both fold in, and that will fold down like that, and that will fold down like that. So then this whole thing will close like, sorry, give me just 1 second because I want to make sure that we have this closing correctly before we put our pieces on there. So now that is in the correct orientation, okay? So now open. Okay, so now open, there we go. So now this is where this is going to go. That's where the cupcake is going to go. Okay. So let's get that on there first. Oops. That's a decent sized. Again, when you get, when you get a glop like that, work it out right away so you don't end up with like a little bump of glue behind there. That's the other nice thing about these, this thing is that it kind of also substitutes as like a working tool. And then at the end, all I do is I just take a paper towel and just wipe it right off before I put my cap on it. Kind of get a better grip on that. Okay, and then we'll pop this right on there. And again, we will work from the top. So the first thing we want to do is line up our star and then the top of the cupcake. And then just work down from there, and the rest will all fall where it's supposed to be. Tamp all that down. Make sure that you're tamping right along the very edges so that you're not ending up with lifting. Okay, and then the next part is to put these on. Green goes out this way, and then peach comes out the other side. And again, working from the very top. And tamp it down. And then our peach. Oops, go working from the top. Peach down. Okay, tamp that down. And another difference in the glues is that while you have a couple of seconds of work time with this, once you've got it down, it's pretty much down. Whereas with the other glue, you do have a little bit more wiggle room. Okay, so that's this. Okay, so now, let's just take a quick look at this. Okay, so that's that part of the mechanism. Okay, so now the next part of the mechanism is this. So you're going to want to fold that up like that. Okay. And then you're going to put this balloon. Oops, that is not the right balloon. So this balloon is going to get your number. It's Just kind of center it on there. And this comes with a whole set of numbers, so whichever number you need is in the design set. Got to be pretty careful with this because it is so thin. With it being the gold, you don't want it to come out the edges. So I think that's plenty. And then just kind of center it on there. It's a little bit higher than I would have liked it, but I'm not going to try to change it because if I do it, it's just going to mess it up. So that is fine. And then this is going to go right on here like this. And you can, again, see that there are little, I don't know if you can see it, but there's little notches there to kind of show you where to put it on. So we're going to glue this on. Okay, and then I'm going to just push that down. Make sure that's down. I should have done that from the bottom side just to make sure I didn't end up with any glue on there, but that's okay. Get that little bit off of there. Okay, and then that's that. And now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to put these gifts on here. And the gifts are going to just kind of hug right up on there. Do you see how that just kind of goes right up to the edge? So just make sure that you have them on the right sides first. Okay, I'm going to turn this around. And then I'm going to pop that on there. And I'm going to, so I kind of lined up the top and the part that hugs at the same time. Something that you can do if you ever have a little corner that you didn't get down all the way, you can cut a little piece of like thicker cardstock or whatever, put a little glue on it, and then just kind of put it underneath it, and that works out good. Okay, do this other one. Get that again where you're lining up both this and that at the same time. Gonna get that perfect on there. And then this one I will tamp down from the back. Make sure I don't get glue on it. The gold part. Okay, so now here is this. So here is this part of the mechanism and this. So that is going to be the main part of the mechanism. Well, that is all of the mechanism. So now let's work on the wrap, okay? So we'll do that next. So this is the wrap. These two parts of the wrap, and then there's a black part to the wrap, and that's this, okay? So the wrap, this is actually for the envelope. The wrap goes like this, okay? So you have two, let me show you so you can see. You have two score lines on each side. I don't know if you get there. There you go. So those two score lines both are going to get, both are going to get You want to make sure that you get both of those kind of folded, because that's going to give you a little bit of depth. This is going to be a wrap that goes around the card. So that's going to give you that depth that you need there to get a good solid wrap around your card so that it's not tight. And again, that's the type of thing that I am referring to when I talk about quality of design. A less experienced designer would not have worked that into the design. But these guys, they know, this is what they do for a living. They make these designs. So they put that extra thought into the quality of them. And it makes a huge difference in your end product. And of course, I didn't pay any attention and did it backwards. Make sure that your writing is going to be correct. Happy birthday. So this is backwards. Good thing I didn't glue it yet. Okay, so now this is going to go on here like this. Okay, so the part that you're going to glue is the black part. So it's incorrect, actually. I'm going to glue the black part on the outside edge, but that is incorrect. I should have actually glued the, I should have glued the pink part, because I don't want to get in, I don't want glue where the words are going to be, and you wouldn't possibly know that if you're doing the black part. So I'm going to put that to the side. Luckily I caught that in time. So, and now I'm going to do this. And I've already got the glue on the edges, so I'm not going to add more glue to the edges here, because I've already done the edges on the black, so I don't want to add too much glue. Just put some right here, some there, put some here, put some right there, a little bit right there. Oops, it's going right up to the edge, and I don't end up with any loose spots. And then coming down into here and into there. Just make sure you can see this. Okay, a little bit right here. Okay, so now this should go on here perfectly. I'm gonna flip this over. I do have a little bit too much on the edges, so I'm going to be careful that I'm not squishing down too hard and don't end up with a bunch that squishes out the edges. So I can let it set just a little bit before I squish down, so I don't end up with a ton that comes out of the edges. That's actually really good. Okay. That is a good fit. As long as I didn't get too much that squished out of the letters, that's good. Okay. Good. Yeah, so I got a little bit out of the edges of the letters, but luckily, like I said, that will dry clear. So let me just show you so that you can see any that did come out has all dried clear on here. And that's what'll happen here. So I'm not even, because there is enough that I'm not even going to try messing with it, because if I do it, it'll just make a mess. So let's take this like this. We're going to have a star right here, so we'll put the star on first. I like stars to be point side up. Oops. And again, there our little marks on there. And then just so that you know, if you are a vinyl cutter, so you have vinyl on hand, you can always substitute for the gold. You can always substitute gold self-adhesive vinyl. And that's, you know, of course, very easy to put down. So you don't have to deal with the glue on the fiddly parts. So, and my star's a little bit off, but it is what it is now, right? So that's fine. So let's go ahead and put our text on there. Let me just see quick where that last balloon goes. So that last balloon must be on, yeah, that must be on the front of the envelope. There is a really cute little envelope that goes with this too. So this part, gotta be really careful, okay? You're barely, you can even like put a little bit on a piece of paper and then kind of smooth it on there so you're not putting, oh, that's not gonna work. That's gonna need just a little bit more than that now. So I'm gonna put some on the paper and then I'm kind of just gonna get it on there. But you do have to work fast enough that it doesn't set on you. So do the best that you can as quickly as you can. You know, I wonder if spray glue would work for these little like fiddly parts. It might. Okay, so this is working not too bad. If I just press it very, very slightly and move fast, so it's kind of just moving right along it. Yeah, that's working okay. And hopefully I won't get too much out of my edges. Almost. Okay. Well, let's try to a little bit more over here before we try to pop that on. Okay. And then you're going to try to center that the very best that you can. Quickly. So the best that you can, but also quickly. Okay, so that's good. So now what I'm going to do, let me just get a clean piece of paper so that I'm not making a mess of this. I'm going to flip that over and I'm going to tamp down that gold part. And hopefully I didn't end up with too much. Yeah, that's nice. That looks perfect. Perfect, perfect. So now let's get our happy on there quick. But having all those little registration marks on there also, it's just a nice little addition that makes it just that little bit easier to make sure that you're putting everything exactly where it needs to be. Okay. Oops. I popped that down a little bit too fast. So I'm a little bit off on that. Let me see if I can kind of move that. That's okay. That's okay. It's just going to have to be okay. All right, so that's okay. So I got a little bit of extra glue on there that will, again, dry clear. So it's just going to have to be what it is. But that looks good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to close this. So your tab goes on the inside. So you want to get plenty on there, okay? Because this is going to be a part that is going to be opened and closed, probably, you know, several times. So You want to make sure that you get a good solid bond on there. There we go. And this we're going to let set before we try putting it on there. We're going to let that set. So I'm going to tamp that down, and now I'm going to put this off to the side, and I'm going to let that set. While that is setting, let's go ahead and build the inside of the envelope, or the inside of the, we'll build the envelope, or the card itself, where that mechanism will go, and then we'll build the envelope. Envelope is super, super simple. So this is the inner workings. Oh, you know what? We did not. Yeah, we didn't put this one little part on. That's okay. We'll go back and put this on now. So this is the bottom of the, oops, bottom of the cake plate. Put a little bit of glue on there. Okay. And now this will go, oops. Okay, this will go right here. And I am gonna flip that over to tamp that down so that I'm not making a mess of it. Okay. All right, so now that is super cute. Oh my goodness, this is just too much. I love it. This is gonna be the cutest little gift card holder. Okay, so now the inside of your card, you take this part, which kind of has this, it looks a little bit like a home base or house. So you see these little tabs? That's where your gift card is going to go. So pull those up just a little bit so that you're aware when you're gluing the back, you don't want to put any glue on those, but you do want to get glue all the way up to your edges here, okay? So make sure that you're getting it all the way to your edges. Because you don't want any lifting on this part. Oops. But you also don't want any big glops coming out of the edges. This glitter glue is also, or not glitter glue, glitter cardstock is also Recollections brand. I think. So I did buy some Recollections brand that's 12 by 12. But this one, so I bought packs of the Recollections one, but this particular one was actually at Michael's in their individual 12 by 12s that you can buy. And I'm not 100% sure that those are Recollections brand, but I believe they are. Most of the cardstock that Michael's carries is Recollections brand. And I gotta tell you that I do a lot of cardstock projects, and Recollections brand is one of the very, very few brands that I will use because they're great quality. And so I'm going to pop this out just a little bit because there is some glue around the edges and I don't want that getting glued on there. I want to be very, very careful. And then you're just going to kind of center this on here. There are, again, tabs that will help, little notches that will help you get it centered. Because it's not a perfect center. And you want this back part goes up against the back of the card. Oops. And that it's important that that is correct, because that's going to make a difference in how your mechanism connects and opens and closes. So you want this back part ends up against that back edge. And I'm just going to kind of get some of that extra that I got on there off. And then I'm going to tamp down, again, being aware that I'm not tamping down these edges. These the parts where the gift card goes. But you do want to tamp it down. I'm going to lift this up just to be sure. Grab Get my scissors. Just make sure I didn't get any glue underneath there. Go, lift that up just a little bit. I'm going to lift this other side up just, and you don't want to lift it too much because you want to make sure that you still have the tension there that you need to hold your gift card. You don't want your gift card falling out. Okay, that's that. Super, super pretty. Okay, and then, actually I'm going to hold off on this part. So now let's go ahead and put our mechanism in here. Okay, so this bottom part, that home base, or whatever, any base, I guess, you're going to get it all the way to the edge. But again, without getting any heavy globs. But you do want that all the way to the edge. This part, it's incredibly important that you get a good bond on. Okay, so we are getting it right up to the very edge. And then I'm just kind of working it out so that I don't end up with it squirting out the edges, okay? Make sure you get a really good bond. But again, this glue really is a good solid bond. For being just a regular craft glue, it really gives a good solid bond. I purchased some Aleene's, which is a well-known brand of craft glue. And I'm going to do a comparison video just to see, because the Aleene's is significantly cheaper. Not that this is expensive, but it is more expensive than the Aleene's is. So I'm going to do a comparison video just to see. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to line this up and get that down in there. Okay, and there we go with that. Okay. All right, so that is that. And then this will get glued. So you're going to want to put that so that it's just about like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like at a proper angle like that. And then just make sure that you have this correct. Just 1 second. Let me make sure before I glue that down. Okay. Oh, you know what? It's a good thing I realize this right now. We did not put in the part of the mechanism. So let's get that in there now. It's a good thing I realized that right now. Okay. So this actually should have gone on prior to putting that home base part down while the mechanism was still separate. But that's okay. No harm, no foul. So what we're going to do, you're going to, this again has little like, you know, marks so that you can fold it. That part's going to get folded up, and then the front part is going to get, so the shorter end, the smaller end is the back part. Larger end is the front part, okay? And then what's going to happen, you see this little hole right here? That's going to slide right through there. Okay. And then glue on this. Okay, and then just push that up to the back. And then just hold that on there for a second. You want to let it dry because you don't want that to stick to anything it's not supposed to. Okay, and then this would here, and if I didn't already have it set up, it would be a little bit easier because there is little notches in there so you can see where it goes, but that's okay. We will figure it out. So to the edges, but not too far over. Oops. Okay. And now what you want to do is this. Let me try to see if I can turn this around. And again, this would have been easier had it not already been attached, but it's not a huge deal. So then that will go on just like that. And then just kind of hold that on there for a second so that it can set up. Okay. So I'm going to let that set up for a second. Okay. So now that's going to be perfect. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back part. Okay. And actually, you know what? I'm going to let this set up for a second before I do the back part. And actually I can put those, we can put those rhinestones on also. So I'm going to let that set up for a second. While that's setting up, let's build the envelope. The envelope is very, very simple. So this is the envelope. Fold this in. Fold this in. Fold that in. Okay. And this is the top. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your glue on here. Get it all the way to the edge. All the way to the edge. Okay. And then you're going to line that up correctly. I like to fold it down from there. Oops, and of course I shimmied this just a little bit when I was doing it. You want to make sure that it's flush. Being flush is incredibly important in this. So I like to then press this down like that. Get a good bond. And then just let that heal for a second because you don't want to close that with the little bit of glue still on there and have that get on the other part, right? You don't want it like sealing itself closed. So while that's healing up, let's go ahead. This goes on like this. Fold that down. And then what will happen is that will show through like that with the scallops on the outside. So you'll do the glue on this part of it, being careful not to get it on that inside edge so you don't, again, seal your envelope closed. You want to get kind of up close to this without getting too close because, again, you don't want it seeping out of your edges, but you also don't want those flaps being just, loose. So kind of get as close to it as you can without making a mess of it. And just so that you know, these were not expensive. I got them on Amazon. They're very, it was like a 12-pack of them. Very inexpensive. Okay, so then just line that up correctly. Make sure you have it lined up. Kind of push those back so that you can use this. And then get it good. I'm going to actually use this and then just push that down on that like that. That way I can get it all at once. And any that seeps out will kind of not make too bad of a mess. There we go. Okay. Off to the side. Okay. So now on this, that balloon is going to go right here. They didn't put any number on there. I think I'm going to cut maybe in black. I'm going to cut an 8 and put that on there. Maybe I'll even just do that in vinyl. But I think I am going to add that onto here. I think that would be cute on the outside of the envelope. Super, super, super cute. And this does, again, have registration. It has little tiny, like, notches right there so that you know where to do it. Again, because it is the gold, I'm going to do it with a piece of paper. So don't end up with any fingerprints. Okay. All right. One more step to the envelope. We're just going to put it on here, and then close it. And then that will give us a great little envelope. Be very careful on this, especially on the very edge, because if you get that through there, it's going to seal your envelope closed. So be careful that you're not going too close to that very edge, especially if you have the inside edge I'm talking about. Especially if you're using too thick of a bead of glue, that will seep through, and then you will end up with a sealed closed envelope. So now this part, you kind of gotta hold these down a little bit as you flip it up, because you want to make sure that you're getting it so that the envelope edges, there we go, and try to like push from the inside going out so that any extra glue goes towards the outside instead of going towards the inside. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to show you what I meant about if you end up with a little piece that needs extra glue. So I'm going to take a little tiny piece of this. And what I'm going to do, you can see in this upper corner right here, I need just a little bit more glue. I'm going to put a little bit on this very edge, not too much, just a tiny little bit. Just the amount that I need. And then I'm going to shimmy that under the edge. So I'm just going to kind of put that right underneath that edge there. Okay, that's just the amount that I need. And then I'm going to push that down. Okay. All right, so there is our envelope. Super, super cute. And you could even, like with vinyl or handwrite or whatever, put the name right on the back, and that would be really cute. Right in the front of the envelope. Okay, so we'll move this off to the side. We're almost done. Okay, so now what we can do, make sure I don't have glue on my mat. Okay, so now we can go ahead and we can put the glue on the back of our mechanism. Okay, so push that forward so that we're sure that's all nice and flat. Let's make sure that it opens and closes nicely. It's so cute. I love it. Okay, so now, again, being very careful that you're not getting it anywhere close enough to the edge that it's going to disturb your mechanism. Make sure that doesn't happen. We put a lot of work into this. You'd hate to see it ruined now. Okay. But in the same breath, you do have to get enough on there that it can handle the opening and closing, right? This isn't something where it's just gonna, this is something, like I said, the kids are probably gonna open and close it quite a few times. So you wanna make sure that you're getting enough, that you're getting a good bond. Can actually all be done there. All the way up. Top of your star. All of this. Make sure that I'm all in frame. You can see what I'm doing. Okay. And now just fill this in real quick so that it doesn't heal up on you. And you can add, you know, a little bit of extra in there to make sure that you're getting a good seal. Okay, so now the best way to do this is just to take this and close it. And then tamp it down, make sure you're getting a good solid bond. Okay, And there we go. That's it. Now, something that we should have done actually prior, and we didn't, but that's okay. We should have put this on first, just because now it's not totally flat. So it's just a little bit more difficult, but not enough that it matters. This is going to be the front of your envelope. Okay. And you can see these little marks on the corner. That is so that we can put rhinestones on there. You're going to want to make sure that you're getting all the way up to these little corners. You want to make sure that you're getting it good around these edges, because these edges are a little bit strange and you don't want those lifting on you, especially coming in and out of the envelope. Okay. I'm actually going to put this down to do this part. Make it a little bit easier. See if I can get a little bit of air in there. Okay. Okay. That's that. And now we can put this down, and then this you're just going to try to center the best you can. Okay. And then actually with this, you're probably going to want to go from the outside in. Or maybe just move right up along the edges so that you're not pushing, because you don't want to push any more glue out than you have to. So kind of just, but you do want to get down on these very edges here. You want to get that tamped down so that those edges aren't coming up. So let's go ahead and just tamp each of these edges down. And you can see that it kind of did push a little bit of glue out of the edge. And clean that up if you can. If you can't, it's not a big deal. All dry, clear. Okay. All right, so that's that. And then we'll put the rhinestones on in a second. And then the back side is just going to be plain. And then on the back side, you can write, you know, whatever you want to write on it. Happy birthday or whatever you're trying to tell the person. Write their name on there and do it in vinyl. You can write it out by hand. You can make a sticker, whatever you want to put on there. Me personally, I would handwrite that section just because, I mean, you want to do something on there that is personalized, like by hand. And then try to center that also best you can. Does not have to be perfect, but it would be nice if you can get it pretty centered. Use this to tamp it down. Oh, kind of squeezed a little bit too much out of the edges. I should have probably just tamped that by hand, but that's okay. Okay. Okay, so now, okay, so we'll let that set up for a second. Actually, oh, you know, one more piece. We only have one more piece that we didn't get in there yet. So now on the inside, on the top, is this. Okay, and that is going to go right about like that. Just kind of frame it and center it on there. Okay, so let's put our glue on there, and that is the final piece. And then we will put the thing or the sleeve around the card so you can see how that looks. It's pretty neat. Oops. Okay. And now we can put this part on there, being careful not to get it on your hats. So kind of hold it and shimmy it behind without getting it on the hats or getting it on there, and kind of, oops. Okay. Can line it up using the bottom as a guide. Okay. Ooh, that is going to be a great card. Cannot wait to gift this. Okay, so I'm just tamping this down, making sure I have a good solid bond on there. And get this little bit off the bottom here. Okay, the only thing I need to do is just put my gift card in there. Eee, love it. Okay, so now I'm going to pop that up so that I can slide that right in there. And this goes on the top. Oops. Just 1 second. Oops. Okay. I might have put this band on here just a little bit too tight, but that's okay. I can always rework the band if I have to. I think I might have connected it just a little bit too tight, but that's okay. Okay. Wait until you see this. It's so cute. Okay, there it is. Yee, how fantastic is that? And then again, you would just slide that right in and out of your envelope. Oops. Make sure that is down, fits in there perfectly. And there it is. So that's all there is to it. And then let me just show you the mechanism real quick. Opening it up. And let me hold it like this so you can see it good. Oh, come up. Right in front of the camera. And there we go. How fantastic is that? I just love it. Such a fun gift to give a kid or to anybody, like I said. So that's all there is to it. I will link everything in the video description. I'll link the design. I'll link, oh, I'm going to put some gemstones on there. This isn't something that you have to do, but I like it. I think I got this gemstone set on Amazon very inexpensively. Came with these, and then it came with, this is like a picker-upper for gemstones. Like it's got wax on there. And this is, this is what I was talking about holding. You can use one of these if you don't have nails. So, I am going to I'll link everything in the video description. Like I said, I'll link the design. I'll link all of the materials that I used. I will link the Facebook group. Make sure you do join us. You'll absolutely love it. Oh, this is nice. These are all independently. They all open independently, so you don't have to open it all to get out just what you need. I'll link the Facebook group. I'll link I will link the design. I'll link all the materials that I used. I will link, I guess that's it. And then if you do have any questions, you can ask them here in the video and the questions in the video here, or you can ask me directly in the Facebook group. And that's about it. Like the video if it was helpful, and subscribe to my channel so that you get the notification when the new videos come out. And that is about it. Happy crafting. You know, I do not like actually how that wax gets on there. I'm just going to do this manually. But I am going to shimmy that over a little bit. I'm going to use a little bit less on this one because I think I used a little bit too much on the other one. I'm going to shimmy that over. And actually, on the next one that I do of these, instead of using the blue, I'm going to use, I have some really pretty, like, metal, just like metal colored ones, like, almost like a gunmetal color, like little rivets that I'll put on here, and that'll give it a nice, differentiation of color. Okay, and now that is it. Okay, if you have any questions at all, like I said, feel free to ask. Join us on Facebook, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.